What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogreboy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2006 movie X-Men The Last Stand. This is the third movie in the original X-Men trilogy, and in this movie has quite a few subplots going on. The Brotherhood of Mutants is once again planning on trying to go after humanity after they create a cure for mutant kind, and Professor X's X-Men and Magneto's Brotherhood are going at it once again, and in the middle of it, Jean Grey returns as the Phoenix, and everything after the events of the second movie, and she is a big threat to mutant kind and humanity as well, but she joins the Brotherhood with Magneto. But this is one of those movies that a lot of people love to hate. This movie, it gets a lot of hate, and when it first came out I didn't care for it either. It was a huge step down from X2, and it is one of the ones that I would consider one of the biggest disappointments in my lifetime. I was very disappointed with this movie, but as time has gone on, I kind of have warmed up to it. I don't love it or anything, but I think it is still a okay movie. It's definitely not on the level of the first two X-Men or some of the ones that came after it, but I do think it's okay. It has some really good moments in here, and there's some really memorable moments. Whether they're really great or not, that's debatable. Like Cyclops' death is not a very good moment, but it is memorable and everything. He gets a crappy off-screen kill, and everything. I didn't really like that. I didn't like what they did with Mystique, really, that they show her get turned into human and then we just don't see her anymore. She doesn't have anything else to do with the story, which there's not a lot they could have done, but I would have been curious to see what they would have done. And really, this movie also suffers from a short running time. It's only an hour and 44 minutes, which is the same running time as the first X-Men movie, but when you're doing these different storylines and stuff, putting them in one movie, you kind of need it to be at least 2 to 2.5 hours. It really should have been longer, but I will say that the cast are all once again really good in their roles, especially Ian McKellen as Magneto. I think he was really good in this one again, but also Hugh Jackman is once again great as Wolverine, and everything. Even in the worst X-Men movies, if Hugh Jackman's playing Wolverine, he does a good job and everything. He really always gives his all to the character. And Kelsey Grammer was introduced in here as Beast. I thought he was really, really good as the character and everything. I think he did a great job playing Beast. And that's really the things that I like the most about the movie, is the cast are once again great. And I did like the scene when Magneto takes apart the Golden Gate Bridge and everything towards the end of it, right at the beginning of the last act of the movie. I thought that was a pretty cool scene, and it did have some pretty good moments during the end of it, but like, this movie it could have been so much better. Could have been a lot worse for sure, but it could have been so much better. And they introduce a crap load of new characters in here that are all underdeveloped or don't have much of a personality. They're just kind of in there to be in there to help with the fighting and stuff, really, and that just didn't work as well. And Bryan Singer didn't come back to direct this one, which I know there's a lot of issues with Bryan Singer, but I think he was not directing it kind of hurt the movie too, because it didn't have that feel of the other X-Men movies like the first two were and everything. He's kind of been one of those that has been good and bad for the X-Men franchise, but I personally think that Brett Ratner was fine as the director. And John Powell did the score for it. It's not quite as good as the score for X2, but it's still fine, and the visual effects aren't terrible. The CGI doesn't hold up super well, but I mean, compared to other movies that came out in this time period, I think that they hold up decent enough. They don't look a lot worse than a lot of the CGI we get nowadays, which there's a lot of bad CGI in movies nowadays. But all in all, I think that X-Men: The Last Stand is an alright movie that could have been a lot better. I think there was a lot more that they could have done with it. I like some of the stuff, like the human cure and everything. I thought that was kind of, or the mutant cure, I mean, to turn them into regular humans and stuff. I thought that was a unique concept that fit in with the rest of the franchise. I think they should have left the Dark Phoenix stuff out of it because it just felt forced, and they should have saved that, maybe done that for a fourth movie or something. But all in all, I think that X-Men: The Last Stand is an alright movie. They freaking made Days of Future Past just so that they could erase this movie from continuity because of how bad it was received by fans and critics and stuff, and it just shows that this isn't a very popular movie, and a lot of people consider it one of the worst X-Men movies. And I know it'd be towards the bottom of my ranking, but I still think it's okay. Like even the worst X-Men movies, just like with the MCU, I think are at least passable to watch. They're watchable at least. I don't think it's like a god-awful movie like a lot of people say it is. There's way worse Marvel movies out there, but there's also way better ones too. It's just an okay movie. So I'd give X-Men: The Last Stand a 6.5 out of 10. I can enjoy it and watch it. I'm never really super bored with it when I watch it. There's a lot of things about it that I think could have made the movie better if the characters were better written. They shouldn't have added so many new characters in here, and it could have been a much better sequel, but for what it is, it's fine. Like I said, we got a lot of better movies that have made up for this movie in the franchise, so it is what it is. So that's all I'll say about The Last Stand. It's just an okay movie, and everything. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. I'm sorry it's a week late. I was going to do it last week, and I was just been really busy with my girlfriend lately, so I just didn't get around to reviewing it last week, so I'm making up for it this week by doing 2 Marvel Monday movies. I'll be doing X-Men Origins Wolverine later on tonight and everything, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.